Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and welcome here at Crypto Hash Review, where we educate and disseminate knowledge about Bitcoin and how it can help the everyday Muslim. So, we are now going to talk about the pillars of Bitcoin. And when I say the pillars of Bitcoin, you could almost say, in a way, this is the pillars of a monetary system that um, I personally believe, and others believe, that is the best type of system we have come across in human history, and it should be the system we should all adopt. Whether that is Bitcoin or not Bitcoin, that's up to you to decide. But these are the pillars of what makes a perfect system or good system, and what those who support Bitcoin say this applies to Bitcoin. So, Bitcoin is a network of communication between everybody, whereby one communicates the transfer of value, you could say. And you could almost say that the network of Bitcoin, money was only the first application of Bitcoin. Money was only the first application of Bitcoin. That'll become clear what that means as we progress in this series. But Bitcoin is based on what you probably heard the buzzword blockchain. Blockchain. So we're going to describe what blockchain actually is in future. But here are some of the key features of Bitcoin as it relates to its USPs, its unique selling points, you could say. So from the key features of Bitcoin, number one is that it is open and permissionless. What does that mean? If I was to, like, for example, HSBC or NatWest or Barclays, if I wanted to develop an application that ties directly into their systems, I need to ask permission. Likewise, Facebook, Google, or Apple, for example, specifically Apple, if you want to build an application on top of their systems, you need to seek permission. And we see that just example of the App Store. You need to submit your apps, and then they will either give you permission to have your app on the App Store or not. So these are permissioned systems. And likewise, if I wanted to see the code behind Apple's operating system, I can't. It's not an open system for everyone to use freely. Whereas Bitcoin is an open, permissionless system. There is nobody, there's no organization, there's no system I need to get permission from in order to build on top of Bitcoin. I can build an online commerce site. I can build programs, apps. I can build all sorts of things, networks, communication network. I can build all sorts of things on top of the Bitcoin network. I can even register marriages. I can build a system where I would register marriages on top of the blockchain Bitcoin network, and I don't need to ask permission from anybody. That's the first thing. And one last thing, God, because as we're talking about money itself or fiat money itself is permissioned. So, for example, if I want to do certain things, if I want to send money to Iran, for example, there are sanctions against Iran. I have not been given permission by the government of the United States of America to send money to Iran. So therefore, even the money we have in our hands, it's a permissioned system. There are certain things you can't do with that money based on the rules that they have set. Second USP is that it is borderless. Now, this one is a bit of a mind blow if you think about it. Where is Bitcoin issued and where is it situated? So, you know what I mean by that? If I have 100 Bitcoin, I have 100 Bitcoin. And then I travel to Egypt, for example, and I go to the Egyptian border, and as I'm as I'm coming off the plane, they ask me questions, what's your name, so on and so forth. And then they all ask me the infamous question, do you have anything to declare? Do you have anything are you bringing in large amounts of money? Do you have anything over a certain amount of money you're bringing to the country? Now, if I have money in my wallet or in my bag, I'll have to say, yeah, I am bringing £10,000 in my bag here. You can have a look. I am bringing that into Egypt. So therefore, and they will say, okay, yeah, go ahead, bring it in. Or no, don't. Or maybe not at the airport. Maybe if I want to just transfer it from UK to Egypt, I'll have to go get a bank account and transfer it from one bank account which is situated in UK and send its money to Egypt, for example, a bank account situated in Egypt. It's now transferred money from one country to the other country. So there's a border they have to travel. Just like we have to travel through borders, money itself also has to travel through borders, and sometimes might get rejected at the borders. Whereas Bitcoin doesn't exist in any country. If a person has one Bitcoin, wherever he is, as long as he has access to sign a transaction and send it, he can send it from wherever he is. So in essence, when you make a transaction in Bitcoin, you're not really sending it from one place to another place. You're literally just sending it from one number to another number, and numbers exist everywhere. So Bitcoin is borderless. So if I go to the airport and they say, "Are you bringing any money into the country?" you can comfortably say, "No, because I'm not." Although you, in their country, can use your Bitcoin you had in the UK, you can also use it in Egypt, but you're not bringing it into Egypt. It was already in Egypt. It is everywhere. Number three, it is neutral, meaning that Bitcoin doesn't discriminate. So whether you're Muslim, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Jew, whether whether you support Donald Trump or you support Joe Biden, it doesn't matter. You can use the Bitcoin network and you can transact. So therefore, it doesn't discriminate against individuals as to how they can spend their own money. It is censorship resistant, which is kind of connected to what was before, but censorship resistant basically means if I send money to, for example, like I said, Iran, can someone in the Bitcoin network say, no, 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 we're not going to accept these transactions? No, we can't. Whereas in banks, you can censor some transactions. You can say these ones can go through, but these ones can't go through. That's censorship. So Bitcoin is a network that has no censorship. Any transaction, as long as you have permission to send that money, it can be sent. So therefore, it is censorship resistant. Also, it's public, meaning if I send money to you, you can verify if I've sent the money to you by a public ledger, public record. You can just go and look on the internet. I'll give you the transaction ID. You go on the internet, type in transaction ID, and there you go. You see it, the transaction, the state of the transaction, if it's confirmed, where it came from, where it's going, and so on and so forth. So it's a public record for everyone to witness. It is unstoppable, meaning now Bitcoin. The fact that Bitcoin is unstoppable isn't a feature that is inherent to the code. It's an emergent property, meaning that Bitcoin at the very beginning was very stoppable. If you found Satoshi Nakamoto and Hal Finney and you killed them, for example, when it was just starting, then Bitcoin was dead. But the point is that Bitcoin, as it stands right now, is so decentralized. It's so much everywhere. It's like a fungus. It's spread everywhere in the world that you can't really stop it anymore. It's now unstoppable. Even if you was to shut the internet down in the whole of China or the whole of Asia or the whole of Eurasia, it still continues. It's actually an unstoppable system or network, much like the internet. Trustless. We'll delve a bit more detail in our future videos, but basically, with Bitcoin, it is a network that doesn't require you to trust anyone. Now, if I said to you, I sent money to your bank account, you have to now either trust me or go to the bank and trust them, or seek some kind of, you have to have some kind of system to trust someone. Whereas Bitcoin, inherently within the system, I could actually have a position where I trust nobody, which is how you should be in the Bitcoin network. Trust nobody, and you can verify yourself. So it is a system that doesn't require you to trust any individual or organization to function. Digital scarcity. It is the very first time in human history whereby information could actually be scarce, as in limited. Normally, the nature of digital is that you can just copy, paste. You can just have infinite amounts. Just copy and paste. It's just information. It's like a poem. If I told you a poem and you memorized it, it's now out in ether. You can now tell someone else, and they can tell someone else. I can't stop it. Whereas there's no scarcity anymore. It's not restricted. Whereas with Bitcoin, I can now actually have one Bitcoin here. You know I have it, but you can't copy it. Nor can I copy it. It is scarce in its nature. And like I said, it only has 21 million, will ever exist. Decentralized, like we've probably hinted before, there is no central body that controls Bitcoin. It's something that everyone is part of the network and everyone controls together, and not one person or even a group of people could control Bitcoin. Immutable basically means that if I have a transaction in the blockchain, and when it is in the blockchain, it no longer can be changed. It is not feasibly possible to change a transaction once it has been successfully verified inside the blockchain network. So it is a record that can't ever be changed. So you can't say, I can't send you a transaction, and then 1 month, 2 months, 3 months later, you realize, oh, someone just came and edited the amount. It can't be done. It is immutable. It is a record. It can never be changed. So if it's done, it's done. The transaction. Verifiable and unconfiscatable. Sorry, not confiscatable. Uncounterfeitable. That's the word I say. So verifiable and uncounterfeitable. Basically means that if I say I have 1 Bitcoin, I can verify mathematically that this Bitcoin came into existence at this particular point in time. I can verify its journey throughout history, how it got to me. And there is no way in human history or in human capacity even to counterfeit or fake a Bitcoin. I could fake gold. I could fake pounds. I could fake a lot of things, even paintings, but you can't actually feasibly fake Bitcoin. How that makes sense, I'll explain in future videos, but that's one of the natures of Bitcoin. So if I have a bar of gold, there's a whole process to verify how authentic this gold is. But if I have 1 Bitcoin in my wallet, I don't have to, that's it. It's problem solved. In our next video, this just scratched the surface as to the unique selling points of Bitcoin. In our next videos, we will move on to the discussion on how Bitcoin actually works as a system. So we finish with the why Bitcoin. Now we're going to move on to the how Bitcoin. How does the network work? How does the network function? What are the technologies involved to make the network function? Hope you enjoyed this video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Like, subscribe, press the bell button, and join our mailing list if you wish, inshallah. And if you want to give us a shout, give us a call, you can find our details on our website. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.